Get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got a very important message from Joseph R. Biden. Okay? He is a Mount Rushmore level president. If you don't believe me, ask Nancy Pelosi. Here's what he has to say.
The reason I'm coming over is I've seen her so late.
Mr. President, what do you want your legacy for Gen Z to be?
Yeah, secure the economy
When are you going to go
and
out?
the environment and a few other small things. The reason I'm coming over is I've seen her so late.
All right. In case you didn't hear that, they said, what do you want your legacy to be? He said, I cured the economy and the environment. And let me tell you something. That's Joe Biden, all right? So that's what he did. He cured the economy. Don't worry about the crash that happened. Don't worry about all that. No. He cured it, and he cured the environment. Celebrate, people. He said it, so it's so. That's just how it works nowadays. Anyways, guys, we're getting into Joe Rogan. He's going to be talking about something with Michael Malice. They're going to be talking about what happened with Biden. Was he set up to take this debate? Was it all a part of a plan to get him out of the position as the nominee and install Kamala Harris? Then we have Tucker Carlson and a senator actually talking about the same thing. And it turns out what you're going to hear Joe Rogan talk about in this clip, because he just has a hunch, this senator actually verifies. And then I'm going to play a clip of Nancy Pelosi talking about her side of this whole thing and whether or not she was the one who made the phone calls to Biden and got him out of this position. So just brace yourselves here. Let's get into it. Sorry, Mr. President. Can you move aside? Thank you very much. Let's get into it.
Come on, the debate.
Do you think that they set him up? They knew
Biden?
that Biden was compromised, and
No.
they let him debate on purpose?
No.
You don't think? Because they could have said no debate.
No, because I think, first of all, again, he's fine in the State of the Union. He probably has good days and bad days. And even the bad days are probably exceptionally bad. And I think he has his people. I'm the president, Joe Biden. Who's going to tell Jill no? I think at a certain point, you believe you're on bullshit.
Could be. Yeah. I
And
always
in their
wonder
head, Trump-
because it was so early, though.
But in their head, we're going to put a nail in the Trump coffin once and for all. The guy's a Hitler and a liar and all this other nonsense that they believe. So Joe's going to come out there. Listen, look at his debate history. Paul Ryan, who was no dummy, he was very good against him. He was very good against Sarah Palin in 2008. He was good against Trump in 2020. Like, they're just going to nuke him. That's what they thought, I think.
Interesting. I don't think so.
You think Jill set him up to fail?
No. I think she's probably delusional, like that guy with the
That's
shit
what I'm
in his
saying.
face.
She's delusional.
She is.
Yes.
But I think the people behind the scenes knew exactly what was going to happen.
I don't think that was. I think if they had a debate again, it's not 100% that it would be that bad again.
Now, I don't know about this, and I got another Joe Rogan clip I'm going to play right now, but I don't know if Malice is right about that. I feel like State of the Union, if you guys remember how Joe was, he was kind of amped. Somebody gave him a Red Bull, let's just say that. And for some reason, they didn't give him any Red Bull when it came to the debate. And you would think they'd be like, this is the Red Bull moment, like, take 3, you know what I mean? But that didn't happen. It's very interesting. So I can't wait for you guys to hear what that senator had to say. I'm just flipping over to this next clip here. Let's jump over here real quick. Here we are. Let's go.
That if he's pretending to be live but really can't be trusted because he's so gone that they
But
could
he's-
edit it this way.
I don't believe for a second he had a cold.
So you think they just pulled a coup, essentially?
I don't think the coup is because of COVID or
No,
or
it's just
cold.
he couldn't win.
Why would I? Okay, one thing that I think most people would understand is these politicians are power hungry people, right? Why would I, as president, step down when I do have still a decent shot of being Trump again, and I beat him last time, got him out of the Oval Office?
Especially when Mises has us the ring.
Right.
Mises doesn't want to let the ring go.
Right. So, yeah, of course it was a coup.
Mises can choose the debate.
Right? Am I wrong, though?
Mises is so good at debating. Mises was #1 in his class. #1.
Right.
Mises has a higher IQ than you.
Don't you think they had to go to threats?
Yeah, I wonder.
What else would get him out of there?
I mean, maybe they just talked sensibly to him. Said, look,
Do you remember when...
you're going to kill the whole party because you don't want to step down.
Do you remember when Chuck Schumer told Dianne Feinstein she's got to resign, and she agreed, and then forgot that they had the conversation? He had to talk to her 3 times.
Well, at the end, like she was having people behind her tell her what.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
yeah. That was nuts. They were wheeling her around.
Yeah.
It's like, you ever see that video of the lady in Brazil who brings a dead guy to the bank?
No.
Tries to get him to sign a check. She's just like holding his hand. He's trying to get him to sign the money over to her. You never seen that?
No, holy
it's
shit.
It's amazing. This lady brought a dead guy to the bank.
No,
yeah,
oh my,
yeah.
is that a
Full-on
person or a
dead.
dummy?
He's dead. He's a dead guy. He's fully dead. Try to get to secure a loan. She's like, no, it's fine. It's all good. Here, but put that in your hand. Sign this right here. And they're like, oh my God, look at this. I mean, the guy's fully dead. Bank employees eventually calls the police, who arrest the woman. She could say, well, he died on the way over. I didn't know he was dead. I thought he was just sleepy. Jesus. Just wanted to get some money.
That's our president. You have some respect.
That's not our president.
Show some respect. And, I guess maybe Joe didn't catch the joke, but, that kind of is the president. I didn't want to show that dead guy, by the way. I'm sorry. Like, it's actually a really sad scene because she's at the bank and this guy's in a wheelchair and his head's like flopping around. It's just like, I just didn't want to show that. But let's move on. Tucker Carlson and the senator sitting down, speaking about this exact thing. And it seems like Joe Rogan was actually onto something. Now, Tucker Carlson and the senator are both kind of filling in the blanks, but the senator is going to give a little bit of what he thought. And by the way, just to say, this is a gentleman who served with Obama. He served under Trump. He served under Biden. Biden was VP, so he knows all of these presidents really well.
Certainly presents a lot of legal questions that could be problematic. For example, if, in fact, the 25th Amendment is worthy of being invoked.
Yes.
If his condition is such that it needs to be invoked and then they don't invoke it, then they're leaving the country in a precarious position of being led by a man not in possession of his faculties. If, on the other hand, it's not worthy of being invoked, then they've used an extortive threat
Yes.
to oust the guy who's at the top of the ticket, who's the current incumbent president. And that's not okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure that qualifies in some way as extortion. But if it's not extortion, it's just a very underhanded manipulation of the process.
But voters don't enter into the calculation at any point.
No.
So I know this is like a tired observation at this point, but the same people who've been lecturing us, berating us, finger wagging for years now about democracy just kicked the president out of his spot without any votes being cast at all, ignoring the votes of Democratic primary voters. Like, I can't imagine a graver attack on democracy than what they just did.
Right. And it denigrates their own party faithful, the voters who showed up in what was essentially an uncontested primary election. And they've turned that into a sham. Because I'm guessing, I can't know for certain, but I'm guessing they've known for some time, just as we've been able to tell for some time, that President Biden has problems.
Yes.
They didn't do anything about it. All of a sudden, when they decide the timing is right, perhaps because of his debate performance, which I suspect they had a hand in planning because they knew how it would turn out. At some point, they said, okay, the time is right now. Now we're going to show the world that he can't handle the job. But I find it difficult to believe that they didn't.
Mr. Interrupt, so you think that it's possible Biden was set up?
Yeah.
They knew he was failing. They had to have a kind of pivot point to change the story. And that's maybe why all the lackeys, all the bootlickers at CNN instantly pivoted as one from Biden cheerleaders to Biden denigrators.
Instantaneously. In fact, my wife, Sharon, who you've met, she and I were watching the debate together.
Charming, cool woman.
Isn't she, though?
She is.
She's amazing. I don't know how I convinced her to marry me. Anyway,
that thought did occur to me. I was impressed.
Well, I just thought I'd put that out there.
No, it's actually true.
Her immediate reaction when things turned, remember when the CNN panel came on right after the debate ended, she said, this appears orchestrated. This is all choreographed. It's like they were ready to do this. This has the feeling of being planned in advance. They knew what was going to happen. And when else, Tucker, have you seen a presidential debate between two general election opponents occur that early in the year?
Exactly.
Before either nominee has had the convention, before either nominee is technically fully the nominee.
Right.
I can't recall a time when that has happened. And so why then? It seems awfully curious that the Biden campaign team agreed to that. And the only rational explanation I can think of was the one that we're alluding to here.
Well, especially because they were telegraphing, sending signals that they might not debate Trump at all because he was at this point a felon or an accused felon. I mean, they were leaking this for months. It lowers us. The sitting president shouldn't have to debate a guy charged with crimes. They were saying that. And then in a day, they're just like, oh yeah, of course we're going to have this debate, really early. Like, what is that?
Yeah, that is an indication, I think. I think the most rational explanation, there are other explanations that one could draw, I think, but the most logical explanation to me is that they knew that they couldn't hide his condition much longer. The media and the White House staff had done a really good job hiding him, protecting him, explaining all sorts of errors, wandering off the wrong end of the stage, shaking hands with people who weren't there, saying weird stuff that was unintelligible. But they realized they couldn't keep that contained much longer. And so they said, all right, let's agree to a debate. And if things don't go as they should, inevitably knowing how things were going to go, then we'll do what we've got to do. My very first reaction, one of the first tweets that I sent, I think it was driving my wife nuts because I was live tweeting commentary during the debate. One of my first tweets was, it looks to me like they gave him the wrong shot.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times when he comes in like to do the State of the Union, he's really, really up, sort of like he's just consumed like 6 Red Bulls at once.
Yes.
And amped up and kind of angry. He was really low energy from the very outset. Anyway, it makes me wonder all kinds of things, right down to how they prepared him.
It does seem like a perilous moment to me because we've now seen the kidnapper's face. I mean, they've kind of showed us exactly how things actually work. Voters play no role in it. It's donors and Democratic Party leaders like Obama and Schumer and Jeffries and Pelosi who make all the decisions, and they're not even pretending anymore.
No, not even pretending anymore because, look, they have a very different experience in the political world than those of us who are Republicans because they've always got this media bubble shield around them.
Right.
It's like they've got this laser shield, and that laser shield doesn't leave them vulnerable to the same sorts of forces that the rest of us have. And so they can get away with all sorts of things. Tucker, can you imagine the kind of absolute venom that would be released against Republicans if we pulled a stunt like that? I can't even begin to imagine how that would take us down. But it's not even touching them because the media choose not to report on it, not even to mention it.
Totally right, because they're co-conspirators in it. What did you think as a senator?
Co-conspirators. Tulsi Gabbard showed us that yesterday when MSNBC released that clip that they melded together of Joe Rogan saying she can win. She's everything that you want. And, like he was a full-blown Kamala Harris supporter, and they put that out there. And why would they do that? Why would someone in the MSNBC studio be like, I'm going to clip together Joe Rogan saying that? You're just supposed to be the news. You're impartial, right? But obviously they're not. Co-conspirators is the perfect word for it. Now we're going to move on to Nancy Pelosi. She's going to be speaking a little bit about her side of things, where she's at with it. But also, just to what Mike Lee was saying, like you start to hear, he said that exactly. It seems like they didn't give him the shot. It seems a little odd that they did this. And you must have known, as his camp, they must have known what would happen. So I almost get to the point where I start thinking, how long has this been something they were thinking about doing? Because you have to know, we're seeing little clips of when they let him out and he speaks. We're seeing little clips here and there, and everybody's like, oh, I see what's happening. They're around him 24/7. So maybe they just understood that it's time to switch. And listen, if people are in the background running things, they don't really care who the nominee is. They don't care if it's Joe Biden or if it's somebody else, especially if they have the media working alongside of them. They're like, who cares? Let's just get the next person. Are they black? They're Indian? Can they say they're black? Fine. Put them in. Who is it? Kamala? Kamala? Come on. I don't care. Just put her in. That's it. Done. You know, it's very interesting. But listen, Nancy Pelosi is going to talk about her little part in this whole thing because the interviewer actually asks. This went from something that was not spoken about to someone in the mainstream, CBS, actually taking the time to say, hey, this has been reported on quite a bit, and I have to ask you about it. Listen to this.
Please tell us what you told President Biden to persuade him to step aside.
Well, I've never shared any conversations with the President of the United States publicly, no.
It's said that he's furious at you. Is he?
Well, he knows that I love him very much.
I understand that you don't want to own this, but it is so well reported that you were the leader of a pressure campaign.
No, I wasn't a leader of any pressure party. Well, let me say things that I didn't do. I didn't call one person. I did not call one person. I could always say to him, I never called anybody. What I'm saying is I had confidence that the president would make the proper choice for our country, whatever that would be. And I said that, whatever that is, we'll go with.
Had you seen a decline in Joe Biden, and did you think he needed to step aside?
No. My whole point was, whatever he decides, but we have to have a more aggressive campaign.
She mentioned his many accomplishments.
That is crazy how she so quickly said no. She was already shaking her head no before she was even asked the question. Oh, man. And to say that she didn't see anything, it's impossible. Again, we see little clips here and there and we get it. And she was around him for full-blown conversations, talking things out. I remember there was a clip of Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Donald Trump, and they're all arguing. I think they were arguing about a government shutdown or something. They're all going back and forth, and Trump was saying, we could do this, we could do that. If those are the type of conversations that Nancy has to have with a president, then, like, come on here. Like, what are we talking about? You're having that conversation with Biden, you can't see anything wrong? Man, very interesting. Now, this is a bonus clip because I know Joe Rogan's going to cover this at some point in time. Let me tell you something, okay? She's dead serious about what she's going to say right now. Listen to this.
Good place to make whatever decision, top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. Want to know what comes next.
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore. Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
Please.
Listen. You got Teddy Roosevelt up there. Listen. I mean, if you want to take him down, we can take him down. I mean, because he's no Joe Biden, but I mean, we could just add Biden. I mean, maybe we put him in front of Lincoln. I don't know. Do we need any of those guys up there? I mean, we had Joe Biden for the last 4 years. I mean, you saw how he falls upstairs. I've never seen Lincoln fall up any stairs. What is she talking about? They're trying. I'm telling you, man, the press, these people, they're so into rewriting history. They so don't want to be burdened by what has been. The more I watch what's going on, the more Kamala Harris saying that sounds sinister. It's so he should be on Mount Rushmore. Hey, no, he shouldn't. No, because if he goes up there, then I'm going up there. And I don't see a problem with that. If he goes up, I'm going up. And my mom was a great lady. Put her up there too. What are we talking about here? And then get Rogan up there and Elon Musk and big old Donald Trump. Give another mountain for Donald Trump. You kidding me? I guess we're just putting everybody up there. You go ahead. You want to be up there? Pose. Send your headshots in. I guess we're all going up. If Biden's going up, we're all going up. It's insane. Oh man. But I mean, that was just the ridiculous thing she said. But there she is. She's saying, I didn't call anybody. I had nothing to do with this. But at the same time, she can't deny that there was conversations had. So there was some kind of conversation had. But she's just sticking to the whole thing of, I can say I never called one person. Now, what does that mean? Because they've talked about Obama being involved, Schumer. So what is Schumer just do a three-way call and just rope her into it? And now she's just saying, I didn't call anybody. I was just on the call and I just said what I had to say. I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like he would step down. And listen, I talk about my bias all the time. I like Trump. I like him better than Biden. But he did earn, whatever shenanigans could have happened, he did earn it. He was the one going the whole time. Yeah, I think we can all agree Kamala has not earned this whatsoever. At least he was somewhat there, I'm not going to say he was all there because he's never all there. But, he was in the position. So it's interesting that he just stepped down. There had to be some kind of, like Michael Malice suggested, maybe it got to threat. But I don't know if it was a threat of violence, but more so a threat of, we have Kamala, and Kamala will put the 25th Amendment in, and that will be your legacy, that you were not competent enough to go for a full term. And this is something you've been fighting for literally since 1778, because that's how old he is, So then he was like, okay, I'll do it. Because, again, it's been so reported on that Jill, very mad. Biden, very mad. Hunter, very mad. All of them very upset with this whole decision. And if they're upset with it, then this is not something Biden did from his heart. It was something that he was pushed to do, obviously. I don't know. But I just figured I'd bring you guys that, Tucker, Joe Rogan, Senator Mike Lee, that's his name if you didn't know, that gentleman there that was talking with Tucker, Senator Mike Lee, great guy. You should check him out on Twitter if you're on there. But what do you think about what Nancy Pelosi said? Not the Mount Rushmore thing, because obviously she's right about that. I mean, that's it. That's it. He's a Mount Rushmore type of president. But the rest of what she said, do you actually believe her? I myself don't. And honestly, I don't understand. I get Schumer. I get Pelosi. They work the room. They've been doing it for a long time. Why is Obama involved? Can anybody explain that? Is Bill Clinton involved? No. Is George W. Bush Jr. involved? No. Why is Obama involved? Why is he even a name? Why is Pelosi, Schumer, Obama, how is he even on that list? I don't get it. Anyway, I kind of get it. And where's Michael? No, never mind. I don't want to get into that. Anyways, guys, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Other than that, I'm out.